Who the hell are you?
Harriet Jones, MP for Flydale North.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Welcome to About Time, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Stephen, and I've been a Doctor Who fan since 2005.
And I'm Ben, and I've never seen the show before.
For years now, I've been trying to convince Ben to give it a go.
And my answer has always been no.
But now, finally, he's agreed not only to watch it with me, but to do a podcast about it as well. And quite frankly, it's about time. Hello.
Who the hell are you?
Stephen Alexander, co-host About Time podcast.
Oh, dear.
And this is Ben. He's my plus one. So we've just watched World War III, probably less than 24 hours after watching the first part. I think it's safe to say maybe Ben got up the wrong side of the bed yesterday. Do you think that's fair to say?
Yes. No, I was all right. I was dying to do my Christmas tree.
Oh, you were dying to do the Christmas tree, which he's done now, and I have to say, it looks beautiful. I helped, like, a tiny, tiny bit, but every time I touched a bauble, he was like, what are you doing? So, Ben's the kind of visually creative one, so I like to let him take charge. It's easier that way.
Stephen didn't like the white pom-pom. Stephen will post a picture.
I will, yeah.
Of it
when it gets nearer to Christmas.
Yeah. And Stephen didn't like the white pom-poms on it, but I absolutely adore them, hence why I brought them.
Cool. Anyway, is it fair to say that you're in a bit of a better mood today?
Yes.
Yeah? And did you enjoy part 2 any more than part 1?
Oh, part 2 was so much better.
Good. Okay.
It was so much better.
And has it affected your view of the whole story at all? Or do you still think part 1 was tedious?
I still think part 1 was tedious. I do feel like that this story did not need to be over 2 episodes. Really?
I think it does. I think it does need the space, but they could have maybe paced the first part better. Because I think if you imagine trying to squeeze that story into 1 episode, they would sacrifice a lot.
I think the reveal of the Sylvine is too
late
in the beginning, in the first part. Feels like they were trying to do like a movie-esque structure over episodes. I don't know. But the episode... yeah, I was not a big fan of the first episode of this 2-parter. And that's it. I'm sorry to those who like it, but I want to preface this now. This is my opinion. We are human beings, and we all have different opinions.
And you're absolutely entitled to your opinion.
Yeah. And if this is your favorite, if that was your favorite episode, that's great. I'm sure I like things in this world that you don't like. So I think we, as podcasts, but not just in Doctor Who fandom, because we need to learn in 2023 to respect people.
Oh, we're not in 2023 yet.
Well, we're getting there.
Okay.
But we need to learn to respect people's opinions.
Absolutely.
Respect people's choices in life.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's their life.
We were talking about this the other day, weren't we? Because Come Along Pond podcast, who we've mentioned before and who I absolutely adore. I was chatting to them about some reactions they've got via TikTok to some of their thoughts. And people, you know, it's the same old story. We've been saying this for years now, but people get behind a computer or a phone and they just think the anonymity means they can just be nasty.
Yeah.
And why would you do that? Yeah. You wouldn't speak to someone like that in real life.
Yeah.
And there's this toxicity in every fandom from what I've gathered.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just a TV show at the end of the day.
The TV show, and if you enjoyed it, great. If someone else didn't enjoy it, that's fine as well. Like, just let people be what it be.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, so go on then. Let's talk more about your thoughts on World War III.
I enjoyed the episode a lot more.
Yeah.
As Stephen knows, I enjoy action-packed movies and films and all that.
If I would say that probably the first part is kind of about suspense and building mystery, and then the second part is where the action kicks off. And
But I just don't feel like... I feel like it could be done in 1 episode.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. The animations, though.
The CGI.
They really did look like like troll babies.
Okay.
just running through the corridors of Downing Street.
So for me, what's funny is, like I said to you before, that the mismatch between the CGI and then when they're in the costumes, they look like completely different creatures.
Oh no, didn't see. I could still tell they were the same.
Oh no, you can tell they're the same. I just think the way they move is so different.
Yeah, and they're so smooth.
Yeah,
and
they do look a bit like PlayStation game characters.
They look like someone's GCSE project.
What you say, GCSE? If a GCSE student that could produce that would be getting an A star or whatever they have nowadays.
Yeah, but it's not movie quality, is it?
No, whoever said it was going to be movie quality?
It should be movie quality.
Okay. So the CGI is still ropey. You still laughed at it.
Yeah.
at least you're enjoying yourself, laughing.
Yeah, they look like troll babies.
Troll babies. Okay, maybe that's this week's title. This episode's title: Troll babies. Something I have an opinion on the resolution of the cliffhanger from the previous episode. I find it a little bit of a cop-out. It's like you go to the trouble of setting up this cliffhanger and then it literally just gets resolved by the Doctor pulling it off his chest and putting it on the Slitheen. Or did you have a problem with that, or do you think that was all right?
I was fine with that.
Okay.
I was fine with that because of what he said. He's not human.
Deadly to humans, maybe.
Yeah, and so I felt like that cleared it up for me a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, you haven't seen any of the classic series, obviously, but they had a cliffhanger every single episode, pretty much. And sometimes they were so sort of contrived and forced, like just have a cliffhanger for the sake of it. There's a really famous one from Sylvester McCoy's era, the Seventh Doctor, where literally he's going along and then it's come to the end of the episode, so he just, for some random reason, he just like drops off the side of a cliff and like hangs there, and then he realises he can't get back up and he's just left hanging off the edge of a cliff, and it's like da da da, and that's the end of the episode.
Okay.
Like, for no reason.
Okay.
So, something else about the Slitheen, for me, something that's kind of always bugged me, even though I know there's no real way round it, is that their voices, when they are out of skin, when they're as Slitheen, their voices are they're voiced by the same actors that play them when they're in the skin.
Yeah.
So, for example, Margaret Blaine was a real woman who got killed by the Slitheen, and then the Slitheen put her skin on. So why does her voice sound the same as the real woman? Do you know what I mean?
Because they're using their voices.
How?
We've never seen her.
No, but remember General Asquith? He came in the first episode and he was still human, and then he got murdered.
I see what you mean.
And then and also the Slitheen that was in Oliver Charles, he then discarded that skin and suddenly has a different voice because he's General Asquith.
Maybe it was something to do with the...
Maybe they have some translation thing going on in it. So it's part of that, maybe.
Like, if you can have the TARDIS, like...
Yeah.
Polyglot you all up.
Because the Slitheen, as part of their plan, they needed to be able to communicate and speak English with humans. So, yeah. But it just reminds me of, like in Harry Potter, we always bring up Harry Potter, but in the films with the Polyjuice Potion, and like how they made it so that it doesn't change your voice, so they could still have the original actors voicing, except in the fourth one when it's Mad-Eye Moody the whole time, and he just sounds like himself, but it really should sound like David Tennant, because he turns into him at the end.
Yes.
But unless David Tennant is, unless Barty Crouch Jr. is just amazing at doing a Mad-Eye Moody impression. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's end that Harry Potter tangent. Yeah. Let's go back to World War III. Okay, can we please talk about Harriet Jones?
Yes.
I just adore her.
Yes.
Do you adore her?
Yes. I said to Stephen during the episode, if Penelope Wilton was younger, to be fair, she could have done it anyway, but I think she could have made a very good Doctor. I think she has that quirky style of acting.
Definitely.
Which would have lended very well for being the Doctor.
Yes. And her Russell's dialogue works for her really well.
Yeah, because he's worked for her before.
Yeah, exactly.
And she knows how she delivers and all that. She was the best part of the episode for me.
Yeah. Do you know... Go on.
She's smart. She's intuitive. She really, 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 really respects Britain. And she respects, the
democracy
Doctor.
as well. Yeah.
And he said, okay, you know what you're doing. I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend that I know what I'm doing. I'm going to help you.
Yeah, exactly. She's the kind of person you need in a crisis.
Yes. She's a bit scatty, but brilliant. She was my favourite part of the episode.
What I love about her is how she's clearly like, her priorities are so ingrained to maintain like decorum and etiquette. So even when there's all this going on, when the doctor tries to pass her the port bottle and she's like, you pass to the left first. And then when she's like, when they fart, if you'll pardon the word, it doesn't just smell like a fart, if you'll pardon the word. Like, it's hilarious.
No, yeah. I do think she's fantastic.
Yeah.
But she's good in most things. I've only seen a few things that she's in.
Yeah, Calendar Girls.
Yeah.
Bob and Rose, obviously.
Yeah. No, I do think she's just very good.
Yeah, she's just lovely.
And can we, like, start a campaign? Because I think Penelope Wilton should become a
dame.
part of...
Oh.
Yeah, should become a dame in the New Year's honoured list.
Yes.
And also, can we start calling her a national treasure?
Oh, yeah, I think she is.
Yeah, like, we've got Judi Dench, we've got Maggie Smith.
Yeah, Penelope Wilton, yeah.
English national acting treasure.
Is she a dame? I don't think she is.
Let's start a campaign on our Twitter. Penelope Wilton for dame.
Oh, she is a dame.
Oh, okay. Well done, Penelope. We love that you're a dame and you're now an English treasure. When was she made a dame?
Oh, apparently between 1998 and 2001, she was styled Penelope Lady Home. She was married to Ian Holm. Okay, anyway, we're going off on another strange tangent. But yeah, I just love her. And one other bit I really like is when she and the doctor first cross paths. And he's like, I like you, Harriet Jones. And she goes, oh, thank you very much. I like you too. When they're running away from the Slitheen.
Yeah. I really hope we see her again as Prime Minister.
No spoilers.
And we come back and see the golden age of Britain.
No spoilers. But if you're listening, if you know, you know. What did you think about the fact that, kind of the twist that the Slitheen were their family name, not their species?
I was like, oh, okay. But now I'm like, what race are they?
Well, they're from Raxacoricofallapatorius. So they're known as Raxacoricofallapatorians. Why are you laughing? The fact that I know how to say it?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I've watched this since I was 12, like a million times, and I remember being a 12-year-old and learning how to say it.
Yeah, and Stephen loves words.
I do. But yeah, the species are just known as Raxacoricofallapatorians.
That just reminds me of supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Oh my God, yeah. Because we're watching it with the subtitles on, because that's what we do in this house.
Yeah, because I've not got great ears.
Yeah, and also I just like it because it means you don't miss things. But there's a line that I literally, a million times I've watched this, I've never noticed before, which I found hilarious. When Mickey and Jackie were in Mickey's flat and they were making tea, and Jackie was like, you got anything stronger? Mickey goes, no chance, I've seen you when you've had a few. This ain't no time for a conga. Jackie.
Can we talk about Jackie next?
Okay. Tell me what you think.
I still have not warmed up to her as you expect me to.
Do you find her annoying?
I feel like she can't cry act, let's put it that way.
You have a thing about crying acting. Every time anyone cries on TV, you laugh, like you think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because they don't cry well. It's like...
That's not how she did it. Anyway, you do better. Okay, so in your opinion, she can't cry.
Yeah, and like the scream, like...
I think, to be honest, like, part of Jackie's function is just to sort of contrast with Rose and, like, how Rose is really suitable for travelling with the Doctor. And then look at where she's come from, and, like, Jackie, like, clearly would not cope the same way, and neither would Mickey.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I also think Jackie made some really valid points in this episode about, like, can you promise me my daughter will be safe?
She was very parenty.
Yeah.
And she was very much like she didn't care about herself. She just cared about, like, is my child going to be okay? Like, I really like that. And she is a good mum in some ways.
Yeah, no, I think she's a very good mum.
I think
she's very realistic.
Yeah, she's honest, and like, going back to the first episode, actually, talking about her, like, if you thought your child was dead for a year of your life, you would drop your mug of tea.
Exactly. And then, you know, oh God, the bit that breaks my heart at the end when she's asking about does the Doctor drink and she sees Rose packing. Oh. And you just see her, she's like, don't go, sweetheart.
Yeah. And then at the end where she goes like 10 seconds and then she walks off.
Yeah, I feel so bad for her.
Because this is just proof the Doctor cannot control that machine.
Yeah, it's partly that he can't control the machine, and also you never know what's going to happen in their lives and in their adventures. Like, things may sidetrack them.
Yeah.
And the
thing is, there's a time machine. He can still get back to that time.
They forget about the real world that they've left behind.
Yeah.
That, you know what we were discussing in the last episode about Russell T Davies and the emotional core and stuff.
Yeah.
For me, like, the classic series, they never gave the companions a fleshed out backstory and home life, and it was like they didn't come from real lives. I mean, they were like, oh yeah, I'm a journalist or I'm a scientist or whatever, but that was it. And like, now we see the impact of this on not just Rose but the people around her.
Yeah,
this is what I love about it.
Okay.
Still on Jackie and Mickey though.
I always think. Sorry, can I just say one thing? Yeah. I always think when they're alone together, Jackie and them have got like the secret like love affair going on.
Jackie and Mickey.
Yeah.
You say that. I do think they've got great chemistry, like acting chemistry. Mm-hmm. They work well in scenes together, and I always got the impression that Camille Cuduri and Noel Clarke got on really well and were really good friends.
Yeah.
Which, you know, now knowing what we know about Noel Clarke is quite sad because it makes me wonder, you know, are they still in touch or whatever? But
yeah,
you know, yeah, I do like them together in scenes, especially because they can both relate because Rose has been taken away from both of them.
Yeah.
And I like how in this story, they start off as hating each other because Jackie blames Mickey, thinking he killed her. And then I think by the end of the story, they've got a bond. But yeah, when the policeman Slitheen comes in, literally, it's so camp and it's like Scooby-Doo. It's hilarious when, you know, she goes and answers the door and he's just there and he goes, Mrs. Tyler. And then she goes, and slams the door. It is funny.
Yeah.
And then, it's the thing, it's the Slickeen.
Yeah, she's... Yeah.
Do you not see any, like...
I laugh when she says
there's entertainment value to her.
I don't know. Maybe she's comic relief. I don't know.
I think she is. But then also, that there are, like this, you know, Don't Go, Sweetheart, there's real serious elements there. I think she's an underrated actress, in my opinion.
What else has she been in?
Nuns on the Run.
Never heard of it.
It's a film with Eric Idle and Robbie Coltrane.
Oh, okay, never mind.
You know the where they explode the Slitheen with vinegar.
Yeah, and the noodles just come flying at them.
So you said they look like pot noodles dyed green.
They do. They look like ramen noodles.
Well, you don't know what their insides are like. They're alien creatures.
Yeah, but surely they would have a heart. Where's the heart? Where's the brain? Where's the intestines?
Not necessarily. It's all dissolved by the vinegar. I don't know.
So are they made out of calcium? That's what he's saying.
That's what he said, yeah.
Okay. It's like, pickled eggs, yes!
Oh my God, yeah, when she's rifling through the cupboard. Oh yeah, pickled onion!
Cooking!
I just love her. And you know the bit when they throw it over it and then it blows up?
Yeah.
That is probably one of my first, like, vivid memories of watching Doctor Who with my parents, because we didn't watch it on broadcast. We used to record it off the TV and then watch it like with lunch or something on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And it got to that bit and I just loved it. And I said to my dad, can we watch that bit again? And we rewound it and watched the Slitheen and exploding again.
But if you compare it to vampires dusting, it doesn't look very good.
No, it doesn't. But we're not talking about vampires dusting.
Maybe we should one day.
You have to. I was texting my friend Nick this morning and telling him that you've just watched Aliens of London, because he's a big Doctor Who fan, and saying that you weren't really a fan.
Yeah.
And he agreed. He said that the CGI hasn't aged well at all, and you know, watching it now with the premise of the farting aliens and everything, you can understand why someone wouldn't like it.
Yeah, it reminds me of those cheap movies you get like straight to the Sci-Fi Channel, or like those clunky sci-fi movies. That's what it reminds me of.
Okay.
It reminds me of like it's parody.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like.
You've said that a lot.
Yeah, of the genre.
I think you have to take Doctor Who with a bit of a cheeky tongue-in-cheek.
Why should I?
But because that's the way it's intended a lot of the time.
I don't think so.
I do.
It'll be a serious episode.
Anyway. By the way, this is a bit random, but as you know, I've said I've watched this millions of times.
Yeah.
I got the Series 1 DVD box set, with the one which came in a blue TARDIS box, And that was my main method of rewatching this episode for years and years. And then I only found out recently that there was a mistake on the World War III DVD.
Okay.
And one of the scenes was missing. So when I rewatched it like a couple of years ago on Netflix or whatever it was on, and this scene was in there, I was like, it was like a brand new scene that I'd never seen before.
Oh.
And so because obviously I had seen it, I saw it when it was first broadcast.
But you forgot.
But I'd forgotten because I've seen it on the DVD so many times. It's the scene where Dr. Rose and Harriet are in the cabinet room, and the doctor's explaining how the like the compression field works and everything, and how they get inside the suits and all that stuff. And that I just it was so bizarre when I first like saw that again. It's like discovering a whole scene that you never knew existed before.
Yeah,
but actually, it's quite an important scene because it explains like how it works and everything.
Yeah.
What did you think of that? Like the compression field? Because you were saying like, how do they squeeze inside?
It was an okay answer.
Okay.
I would have preferred them turning into slime, so that they can like liquefy themselves.
Yeah.
And then that's how they can control it so perfectly.
That would make a certain amount of sense. Yeah.
I still don't understand how they rip out all the muscles and bones and they just use the skin. How can they control the face?
Yeah, I know. It does, like, obviously, it doesn't really make sense.
If they were slime, they could. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if they had that level of control.
And how can they eat?
Eat?
If you're going to rip out the esophagus, and like all of that, like when you open your mouth, surely your tongue would be gone.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, just see the saline.
Yeah, no, of course it doesn't make any sense. I mean, you can see their human teeth. Their eyes would not look like real human eyes.
Yeah.
But no, there's all sorts of little details that don't quite work, but you have to just lump it.
Extend your belief.
Like I said last time, just got to lump it.
Okay. I've got another thing I want to talk about.
Yeah, go on.
I don't know her name. The lady out of the evil trio.
Margaret Blaine.
Yeah. She's like, hello, little children.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever she said, human children. I was like, one of them is not a child.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting point, actually. I think she's just sort of patronising them.
Yeah.
But yeah, she has some weird lines in that scene. She's like, let me kiss you with my big green lips.
Yeah. What was it the episode yesterday where she was like, have you been naughty?
Yeah, and I'm shaking my booty.
Oh dear. Out of the three, I enjoyed her the most because she was so funny.
She is very good.
And she had like weird, like funny facial expressions.
Yeah.
So she's the strongest
actor.
Yeah.
I find the Joseph Green guy, I do find him entertaining as well because he's so...
Who's that?
He's the acting Prime Minister.
Oh, okay.
Like he's quite childish, like the way he acts like a child in like a Prime Minister's body. Yeah. When they get to the phone, the red phone, and he's like, oh, when will they phone? And he's so,
Yeah. Like the other thing about this episode and like them three, I'm just like, is the acting Prime Minister, one who's in the acting Prime Minister, is he the leader? Is he the like that old, like, is he like...
The leader of the Slovene?
Leader of the family?
I don't think that's made clear, really. Yeah. I assume so, yeah. Okay. With maybe Margaret second in command.
Yeah. I really liked the way that, like, she gave a bit of information about outside Earth. Like, she said there's a recession in the wider universe.
Yeah.
And obviously that must be a repercussion of the Time War.
Maybe, yeah.
Because everyone, I don't know much about the Time War. I'm guessing I'll find out soon about who's who and who killed what and blah, 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 and the spoilers that you gave me last week.
Let's forget those. Let's wipe those out of your memory.
When am I seeing a Spider-Man? A Cyberman.
A Spider-Man? You can watch Tom Holland or Andrew Garfield.
A Cyberman! When am I seeing K9?
So you will see K9 and the Cybermen in Series 2.
Boo!
So that means you've got to watch Series 2 now.
No, thanks. No, I will.
Actually, technically, no, that's a bit of a spoiler.
Okay.
But let me just say, you might see a Cyberman sooner than you think.
Are Daleks and Cybermen, are they the same thing? Got the same little alien inside?
No, absolutely not.
Oh. Are the Cybermen robots?
Absolutely not.
They're cladded aliens.
No, I won't explain it to you
robots.
now. I won't explain it to you now.
Okay.
Because you will discover that in the course of time.
Mum said that she liked the Cybermen, and no, that was my uncle who liked the Cybermen.
Oh right.
And my mum rang me up, and she said to me, I was only 10.
Oh, about finding it scary, yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know that you were
But
only 10.
that's the kind of the point I was making, that, you know, for children it is scarier because, you know, we talked about this off mic, but I said about like films I used to watch when I was a child, like Jumanji, that was made in the 90s, and like, you know, you don't like that film very much, but there's a scene where a lion comes into the house and they trap it in the bedroom. And, like, literally, you watch it now and it does not look like a real lion in the slightest, because you've seen nature documentaries, you've been to the zoo, you know what a lion looks like. It looks really rubbish. But when I was, I don't know, 7 or whatever, when I was first watching that film, I didn't question it. I just thought it was a lion.
Yeah. But then it probably looked good back then.
No, I don't think it did. I don't think it ever looked like a lion.
Compared to the other stuff around the time.
Maybe.
That's the thing. Like, it was the best of the time.
Yeah.
And then,
but what I'm saying is it doesn't matter whether it looks good or not, because, you know, as a child, I think you question things less and you accept it more readily.
Okay. I've got other questions.
Okay. More Doctor Who questions.
Yes.
Okay.
If the Doctor is 900 years old,
yes,
is his lifespan infinite? So, like, if he, like, let's say Christopher Eccleston is what I don't know, whatever Doctor he is.
He's the 9th.
He's the 9th Doctor, yeah. So if he lived a very careful life and lives on a remote planet, and
yes,
could he live infinitely?
Not, I don't think infinitely.
Or does he age?
He ages because the first Doctor, William Hartnell, the first Doctor regenerated because he said he was getting a bit old and his old body was wearing a bit thin. Oh. So I think they do age, and then if they didn't get
so
killed,
they have like a set number of life cycles.
That is a
bit like Cat with 9 Lives.
Yeah, that is the classic thing. They introduced the idea of regeneration, and then one episode they mention that they can regenerate 12 times, which means they can have 13 bodies. Yeah. So
the Doctor, this is the same Doctor, as in he is the same Doctor.
It's the same person, yes.
So they could have done so he was the 9th out of 12 generations, yeah?
Out of 13 incarnations.
Yeah. So why did they not just say this is a totally new Doctor, and so then you'd have 12 fresh?
What, when they brought the show back?
Yeah.
Because I guess out of respect for the old show.
Yeah.
And also the whole regeneration limit thing, if there being only 12 times you can do it. It was introduced at a point in the show where they thought 12 was such a ridiculously big number they would never have to deal with that as being a thing. But then they always, you know, people like Russell and Stephen Moffat always said, it's not really an issue. If the show is still going and they've got to 13 and they still want to keep going, they will find a way to just brush it under the carpet, because it's more important for the show to keep going and to be attracting audiences than to respect some throwaway line from decades ago.
Yeah.
Because we're now on, Ncuti Gatwa's going to be the 15th, which is obviously more than it should be. So it's been addressed by now in the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, any more random Doctor Who questions?
Do you think they're going to do a gay storyline with the Doctor with, how do you say it again?
Ncuti Gatwa.
Ncuti Gatwa.
Possibly. I wouldn't put it past Russell. I think times are different enough now that they can do that.
Yeah, because I've always seen the Doctor as bisexual or pansexual.
Because I found that interesting, because obviously we've discussed the Doctor's attracted to Rose.
Yeah,
and the Doctor currently is a man, and Rose is a woman, and that's the thing. But then, we've seen the Doctor be attracted to women at other times.
Yeah.
But then when the Doctor became Jodie Whittaker, I wondered, does that mean is the Doctor still attracted solely to women or whatever? And I mean, there are things explored along those lines. But anyway,
I've just taken us on a massive tangent.
It doesn't matter. People love tangents.
Because literally, as you watch, as a newbie of watching the show,
your curiosity
I'm curious about this world. I'm learning is quite big.
And that's the thing. The thing with something like Doctor Who, it's not like, say, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings that's kind of solely created by one person. Doctor Who is extremely collaborative over nearly 60 years now of people adding to it and tweaking it.
He's 70 years old.
No, it's the 60th anniversary next year, 2023.
Oh yeah, my mum's not even 70, so
No.
yeah, that makes no sense. Okay,
Yeah, so it's it was invented by some people at the start, and then people added to it. People retcon things.
So who was the creator?
The idea came from a man called Sidney Newman. He had the idea. There's a brilliant drama, a docudrama biopic kind of thing that they made for the 50th anniversary. Mark Gatiss wrote it, who wrote The Unquiet Dead. And it's about the inception of Doctor Who. And Sidney Newman's in it, and William Hartnell's in it. We are going to watch that when we get to around that time of the show, because it's brilliant. Anyway, sorry, I haven't mentioned it. It's not just Sidney Newman. That would be a bit unfair to just say him, because the first producer was a woman called Verity Lambert. She was very young, and it was very unusual. And then for the 60s in the BBC to give a new show to a young woman like that, that was a big deal, and she was a huge part of its success. So yeah.
Oh. I've got another thing. It's called Doctor Who.
It is.
But his name is not Doctor Who.
No, because the title of the show is asking, because we don't know who he is.
Why is there not a question mark then at the end of the question, at the title?
Good question.
It feels like it's his name, and yet he's never called Doctor Who. So yeah, like, I don't know, the title, I like the title, I think it's cool, but I just get sad that he's not called Doctor Who.
No, he's not. He's really not.
Anywho.
No, he's the Doctor from Doctor Who. And that's the question. Who is he? Who is the Doctor? Yeah. Doctor Who.
I would be really interested in seeing Rose come back and, like, her and her child go back on an adventure with the Doctor.
Okay. That's assuming she's not dead.
Oh my God, is she dead?
As you predicted. But anyway, we'll get to that.
Oh, and also, Stephen.
Yes.
You know Rose?
I do. Well, not personally, but yes.
The Doctor would do anything to save her.
I think he pretty much would, yeah.
He is besotted with her.
He is, yeah. You can tell that, can you?
Yeah, and like...
That line, by the
way...
way...
The nuances of their relationship is brilliant.
To direct us back into the episode, that line where he's got the plan with the missile, but he doesn't want to do it, and he says, I could save the world but lose you.
Yes.
And the look on his face and her face.
It's really, really like... As we know, I'm not a big fan of this romance, but there are certain lines and certain like little conversations that I'm like... You're making him too human.
Oh, really?
He's not human.
He's not human.
But I guess he's been around humans too long.
That doesn't mean he can't have elements of humanity about him. Or elements that we recognise as human.
Yeah. But Rose has really grown on me. I really like Christopher Eccleston, as I've made abundantly clear.
Yeah, but it's not just you like him because you think he's hot.
He's a good actor.
You think he's a fantastic actor. Yeah, and he really is. And
like,
I've said before, like, he was such a good choice to bring the role back because the Doctor has always been in the classic series. He speaks with an RP accent and possibly a bit unrelatable to some people these days. So bringing him back and having him be down to earth, working class, gritty, funny as well. Yeah, it was really good.
The only thing that I get really sad about is when I realise, shit, we've only got one season with him.
I know, that is gutting, isn't it? It's absolutely gutting, and we are nearly halfway through.
Like, I highly doubt that Christopher Eccleston will ever hear this podcast or
no, of course not.
Ever he Googles himself or anything. But I really would like to put out in the universe, like, how much, like, I've never seen you in anything else before. And to see you in this, like, I really, really, really think, like, you shone in this. And I think...
Yeah.
And he is the reason why I am enjoying the show to a certain level. There are certain things that I am tough on because for me they enhance my enjoyment. Watching a piece of TV or film is for me like looking at art. It's someone's vision, it's someone's creative process. And this is why I'm so hard on this, because being a creative person myself, like I draw what I want the people to see. I don't put anything out. If you know my Instagram, like
you never
I
post
don't post. I don't post unless I feel I'm internally proud of this.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm so frustrated with Doctor Who, because I feel like they put this out and I'm a bit like, you're proud of this.
Yeah.
You're proud of the CGI that you allowed on your show.
Yeah.
You're proud of the fact, like, I would have done, like, much more less ambitiousness if you didn't have the budget. And, like, but the thing is, though, I think what the show has to its detriment is not bringing back classic things, like, notorious things. Like, you would have thought by now we would have seen the Daleks. They are notorious. They are almost like the enemy mascot.
Well, hold on 1 week on that thought.
But like you would have thought, like Cybermen, whatever. Like,
yeah.
Oh, when do we see the fat blobs?
The what?
The fat blobs.
You're looking at one right now.
No, you're not. Stephen showed me a clip many moons ago, and I was just listing aliens off, and I remember these little fat blobs.
The adipose.
The little fat blobs.
Yeah, I used to have one. It was a stress toy.
Anyhow,
and I squeezed it, and the stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think of this. Yeah.
What?
I remember.
What do you mean you remember? What do you remember?
Like, they are little fat blobs.
Yeah, they're little blobs of fat.
And they're like...
And Catherine Tate is, like, waving at them, and she's like, I'm waving at fat.
Anywho. So we don't see them for a while then.
No.
Anywho. Just to preface, me and Stephen have been together 6 years, and Stephen's been a Doctor Who fan all those 6 years, so...
Longer than that.
Like,
yeah.
I have... There are clips.
There are things that have leaked through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but not many, because I was like, can I show you this? No.
Literally any time. There have been times where I've even mentioned the words Doctor Who, and Ben's been like shut down, like, no, not interested.
Yeah.
Which makes him sound a bit horrible, but no, he's not. It's just, if he's not interested, he's not interested, which I completely respect.
I tried to get Stephen to read one of my favourite series of books, and he said no. So...
Well, maybe that's our next podcast.
Maybe.
Do you want to name the series for anyone who's interested?
I've already named it.
I might have cut it out. I don't know if it's been mentioned.
Oh, Keepers of Lost Cities.
The Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon
Messenger.
Yeah. I've tried the first book, but it's very...
The first book is full of setup. It's just setup.
Well, there you go.
And
then I'm going to get on my high horse and be like, yeah, if you read a book, you want to get into the action. You don't want this, you don't want that.
Oh, there's loads of action in the book.
Yeah, I know. I'm only teasing.
Like, loads.
I'm only teasing. Yeah.
Anywho, back to the ep.
Okay, so what else do you want to talk about? I've got a couple more notes.
The missile in sort of London.
One of the most ridiculous things about this episode is the fact that it's possible for Mickey to launch a Royal Navy missile from his home computer.
Yes.
By clicking a big red button that says fire.
Yes. Yes. Like
all he needs is the password buffalo and he can do it.
What I would have done if it was me, I would have said to
Mickey.
Oh,
he's really called Mickey.
I would have said to Mickey, go down to the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And I need you to do very, very, very specific instructions and get the TARDIS in there.
All right. I thought you were going to say go to the TARDIS and then use like the TARDIS computer, because that would have been slightly more believable than it be a home computer.
Yeah, maybe that.
Yeah.
But like, use the TARDIS. We hardly see the TARDIS.
We do.
Like, and when we look inside, I'm like, no wonder we don't see it. It's fucking crap inside.
I love it. That's my favourite TARDIS interior.
No.
That's my favourite.
No.
It's got this like junkyard aesthetic, like it's sort of thrown together, but also it's got this kind of organic. The pillars are kind of like coral.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No, I love it. Love it.
When do we see it grow like a berry?
Ben, literally, I once offhand mentioned to Ben that the TARDIS is grown, not built, because the Doctor mentions that in one episode. And he will not let this go. He's like a dog with a bone.
But I want to see it grow.
You don't see it grow. In my view, it is a machine. It's a machine, but it has an organic element to it as well.
Is it the only one left in existence?
Yes, it would be, wouldn't it? Because all the Time Lords have gone. Oh,
so they only grow on that home planet?
I said that it grows, and you have taken that, and you now assume that it's like they grow on trees or like in a plant.
Yeah, like a strawberry.
I don't know if that's even how it works. Literally, I've told you, all that I know is that the Doctor said it grows, or it was grown, which is kind of like, who even knows? Who even knows?
Okay.
But don't
say things if you don't know the answer to things.
Don't dwell on it being organic. Just accept the fact that it's a machine. That's all you need to know right now. A highly advanced machine that you couldn't understand. No one could.
Okay.
Anyway, why did we get onto that?
I don't know.
Oh, because we were talking about the TARDIS computer. Yeah. The fact that Mickey can just launch that missile from his home computer. And I think, to be honest, I feel like that's a product of 2005 or 2004 when it was being made. Like, people's understanding of computers, the general public's understanding of computers and the internet was probably less.
Whenever I see that computer that Mickey's on...
The big box, yeah.
I always remember the computer in my primary school that was in the classroom and it had a noddy game on it.
Noddy?
Yeah, a noddy game. And it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other questions have you got then? I don't understand how that tin box did not get destroyed, but yeah.
Yeah, because he said it's not strong enough to withstand, and then it wasn't really destroyed. They
survived.
Well, they survived because they were in the cupboard, which was better, but the box looked intact when they got out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so whatever.
And the door just fell off. Like, maybe they were just lucky. Thing.
Yeah. I do love that shot of Downing Street blowing up and the front door kind of swinging forwards. That's really cool. We haven't really talked about the the political aspect of it. Okay. You know how when he gave that address, the Prime Minister gave that address.
Yeah.
And he said to the cameras, like, these aliens have massive weapons of destruction.
Yeah.
And then everyone went into a panic and they released the codes.
Yeah.
It's like, that is a very on-the-nose kind of reference to the Iraq War and Tony Blair and Bush and everything.
Oh.
So, I mean, Russell T Davies was not shy about putting his political opinions in. And, don't know, I mean, there's plenty more we could say on that, I guess, but it's been said before. A couple more lines I noted down that I just wanted to shout out on the podcast, but literally lives rent-free in my head. When Jackie wants to cook for the doctor and she's just checking if he would eat shepherd's pie, and she's like, well, for all I know, he eats grass and safety pins and things. Like, what goes through her head? Safety pin.
Yeah, I know.
I just want to give Jackie a hug. I need her in my life. I want to invite her around for a cup of tea.
When I'm out.
You did say that you thought looks-wise she's very believable as Billy Piper's
100%.
mother.
I would 100% believe that she is Billy Piper's mum.
Yeah, they look good together.
Yeah.
You know, at the end when so the doctor invited Mickey to go with them, were you sitting there thinking, please don't, please don't, please don't?
Pretty much. I was thinking to myself, we don't need multiple companions at this time.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, you actually said, I'd like to see another companion.
Yes, I would. Love to see another companion, but I was saying that just because of the fact that I don't want him to be the other companion.
Yeah.
I'd love to see, it'd be really nice to see, two companions, a male and a female, or male, female, that fall in love on the journey.
Oh, yeah. Well,
not the doctor being involved in that romance journey, but the two companions fall in love.
Yeah, that's a lovely idea. In a way, I feel like that happens in the very, very first era of the show. Because the doctor these two companions, Ian and Barbara, who are two school teachers, and they're friends, but they're not in love with each other or anything. But they get stuck on the TARDIS with the doctor, and I feel like by the time they leave, they're a couple.
Oh.
Which is quite nice.
Yeah, okay. Ian and Barb.
Yeah, I love Ian and Barbara.
Is there a Doctor Who musical?
Oh, probably like an unofficial one on YouTube or something. But yeah, I don't know if Doctor Who would work as a musical.
No.
Maybe a musical episode, like the Once More with Feeling episode of Buffy.
Like you go to a planet where they all sing and song.
Yeah, that would be brilliant.
And they don't understand you unless you sing.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. So, what's your opinion on, are Rose and Mickey still together?
On hiatus, probably.
Because they kissed. They kissed on the lips as she was leaving again. Like, is that just out of habit?
Or just...
like residual feelings?
The end of the era. I don't know, we'd have to wait until she returns and see what happens. I don't know. I don't think there's any feasible way that they would get properly back together. Because I think it's clear that their relationship wasn't working anyway. And she's moved on.
Yeah. So, what was your favourite bit of the episode?
When they were trying to work out how to defeat them. Oh,
right, when they were doing narrows it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that bit.
And then he just spits out this word that no one can follow.
Raxacoricofallapatorius. Did I teach you how to say it?
No thanks.
Raxacorico.
Blah, 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 blah.
Raxacorico.
Beep, boop, 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 boop.
Raxacorico.
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Go on, do it.
No.
Rax.
If anyone out there gets that reference that I'm doing right now...
What, the bleep, 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 bleep?
Bleep, bleep, blue.
What is it? What is it
It's from Friends, when Phoebe tries to teach Joey how to speak French.
Okay. I'm not a Friends fan.
Oh, don't say that. We'll lose followers.
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't like
Friends is good. I like Friends.
Okay. Maybe that'll be another podcast. You make me watch Friends.
Yeah. No, I want to make you watch Will and Grace. That's my favourite sitcom.
Okay.
So,
all right then. Rating for this episode.
So have
you
kept a note of all my ratings?
I have, yes.
So my first episode was 2.
A 2.
Second episode was
a 2.
Third episode
a 2.
They all live on there. And then the fourth episode 0.5.
You said a 0.5.
I'm going to preface this now. I did say I was allowed to change my mind. I was very negative on that one because it was. I did not like the episode. But does the episode deserve a 0.5?
I don't think so.
It's probably more along the lines a 1. But
so you want to up it just a touch?
Yeah, probably a 1. I just think to myself, like...
Let me just say, if you wanted to give Aliens of London a 0.5, there is an episode coming up in this series that I think would be lucky to get a 0.
Okay.
Leave some space underneath it.
Okay. So let's raise episode 1 up to
a 1.
A 1.
Okay.
Episode 4 up to a 1.
Part 1 of this.
Part 1, yeah. Episode 2.
Part 2.
Part 2. Did I not give the ghost ones, the Dickens one, 2.5?
Let me check my spreadsheet, because I was trying to do it from memory, but let me check the spreadsheet. Episode scores. Yeah, you've given them all a 2.
Oh.
And then a 0.5. Mine were a bit more variable.
Oh.
So you want to give Aliens of London a 1?
Yes.
And I need to update this, but so we both gave Aliens of London a 1.
Yes.
So
I'm going to give this episode...
If you bear in mind, if you give it a 2, that's the same as the first 3 episodes. So where does it sit in relation to those?
I think I'm going to give it a 2.
Okay.
They've all been a bit of the same subparness, apart from that episode yesterday. Like, they're all, like, one note. Like...
Okay.
If we had gone to an alien planet, it probably would have... And it was action-packed and full of drama.
If you're holding out for an alien planet, you're going to be waiting a long time.
Really?
Like, truly going to an alien planet, like, fully. It does take them a while.
Penelope Wilton and Chris Eccleston and their Billy Piper, and their all interaction in that room saved this episode for me.
Yeah.
And, like, that's why it's probably, like...
Higher.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be the same as... I think we both give this, so first part a 1, second part a 2.
Yeah.
Which means that if you want to think about the whole story overall, it averages out to a 1.5.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
I guess.
Yeah.
It's very hard doing 2-parters.
Is it?
There's 2-parters, like you said, you got an episode of setup, which normally is not the best episode. Then you got an episode 2 where all the action happens.
Yeah.
There's no spread
of
that action.
So the finale of series 1 is a 2-parter, and I think that breaks the mold on that. I think the first part of...
Let me get there.
Yeah, no, I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just saying I do think episode 12 of the first series is really good on its own, as is episode 13.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, thus concludes another episode of About Time.
Yeah. Police said there's only 2-parters in this season.
There's 3.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We've had 2 emails.
We have, yes. And I'm going to read them out before we finish. So our first one came from Alan, and it said, "Hi, I just want to drop you a line and say congratulations on your first couple of episodes. I'm looking forward to the journey. With best wishes from Germany," which is pretty cool that someone in Germany has listened to us.
Yeah.
And yes, we're also I'm looking forward to the journey. I think Ben is reluctantly looking forward to the journey. Lukewarm, okay. We've also had an email from Zoe.
That name is the name of my mother.
But this email is not from your mother.
Yeah, no.
No. This email is from Zoe, who was a member of the Doctor Who fan orchestra that I ran.
Okay, yeah.
And she's listened. And she says, "Hi, I'm really enjoying the podcast. Thinking much further ahead, will you cover Torchwood and the Sarah Jane Adventures in relation to the main series prior to their reintroduction to series 3-4? Which is a good question. We haven't got the details exactly worked out. I would be keen to cover Torchwood, but I don't think I can put Ben through watching all the series of the Sarah Jane Adventures because it's a kids show. It's brilliant. I enjoy it, but I would, my personal recommendation would be that we watch the feature-length pilot of Sarah Jane that they did, so that you understand what it is about and what goes on there, and then that will be enough. You don't have to watch the show.
Okay.
Does that sound good to you?
Sounds alright.
And are you up for Torchwood?
Yeah.
Remember Eve Miles is the lead in it, who was Gwyneth, and you love her.
I thought Thingy-Majiggy was the lead role.
The main lead is someone who you haven't met yet.
I thought Barryman was the lead.
That's what I was going to say. You haven't met him yet in Doctor Who, but you meet him in Doctor Who before Torchwood starts.
Okay.
And I know you're not the biggest fan of him. And he's another one, talking of Noel Clarke, he's another one who's had some problematic actions, but yeah. We focus on the character, not the actor.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, those who've emailed, thank you so much. Because literally we've only just started, and to have people already emailing in so nicely is lovely.
Yeah.
And thank you again to Come Along Pond, because you guys, you are so supportive to us as we're starting, which I really appreciate, because I've become such a fan of you guys, Damla and Elliot, and to have you be so supportive and like share our stuff and shout us out on the podcast means a lot. So thank you. And likewise, we shout you out. If you like Doctor Who, seriously go and listen to them, because they're hilarious, intelligent, and just brilliant.
And ironically, I'm not a podcast listener, so I don't actually listen to many podcasts.
And also, you couldn't listen to that because it's not spoiler free. So you're making your own journey through. But yeah,
I listen to a lot of music instead.
Cool. So what are our plans for the rest of the day?
I was going to bake again because I have butter to use up, eggs to use up, but I don't know if I can be bothered. Okay, well, watch this space. I need to make a Christmas topper for my Christmas tree. Yeah, we have nothing on top of our new Christmas tree. Yeah. And I suggested we could do something funny, like have a Dalek on top of it, but Ben's vetoed that. Absolutely not.
Then I suggested a TARDIS.
No.
He's vetoed that. I have said, though, maybe we can have a TARDIS ornament, not for the top, but just hanging on it somewhere, maybe for next year.
When you decorate a tree, Stephen, you can have overall artistic control.
But you would never let me decorate our tree because I would not do it to your standards.
No, you wouldn't, but...
It's supposed to be something that you do together.
I'm a control freak and a perfectionist.
No, to be fair, the way you've done it does look gorgeous.
There are a few gaps which I need to fill, but I need to get some more decorations.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts again on Doctor Who. No, seriously, yesterday's recording that we did, so the last week's episode, was tough for me. I felt like you were very negative because you didn't enjoy the episode.
I didn't. No, I did.
I just didn't. Like, you can't force yourself to feel a certain way.
No, I do feel. I stick to my opinion that this should have been one episode.
Yeah, which is fair enough. But I'm just glad that the second part elevated it a bit for you.
Yeah.
And you did enjoy it.
Anywho.
Do you want to know the title of next week's episode?
Okay.
I would say it's a spoiler, but I don't know if a title can be a spoiler because you see it at the start of the episode. Yeah. The title is one word.
Dalek.
How did you know? Did you see it on my spreadsheet?
No, because you said wait for next week's episode.
Yes, it is called Dalek. One of the best in my opinion, but let's not preempt things. Okay, look forward to that. Thanks for listening, everyone. Stay safe, enjoy getting into the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
And au revoir. Bye.
Au revoir and goodbye.